Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the November 12th edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Marissa May. I'll tell you why knowing how to dispose of your prescription drugs should be a high priority.
Reporter Katie Miller brings us the compelling post-war story of a UNC veteran.
In sports, Carolina's field hockey domination continues in the NCAA tournament.
Weathercaster Mallory Nichols will tell us whether you'll need a hat and scarf this week.
All that in a 1-2 punch. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Carla Babb.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thank you for joining us. Earlier this semester, we told you about the prevalence of ADD and ADHD drug abuse among college students. Our Marissa May joins us from the newsroom. And Marissa, we're now hearing reports about other prescription drug abuse?
Adam, officials say prescription drug abuse is a big issue, and the government is taking a new step to stop it. Junior Ashley Oxendine is no stranger to prescription drugs. Because of many athletic injuries, Oxendine has been prescribed painkillers, anti-inflammatories, and muscle relaxers. According to UNC pharmacist Fran Whaley, many students abuse such prescriptions.
The student population, the most common things that we see, number one, are strong pain relievers like Percocet.
The White House Office of National Drug Control Policy identified the illegal use of pharmaceuticals as one of the fastest growing forms of drug abuse. Oxendine is aware that her painkillers are commonly sought after by those looking for a quick high.
I have to make sure I keep them out of risk of other students and people walking to my house. So I put them in pill containers so that no one really knows that they're painkillers.
Statistics from the Drug Abuse Warning Network show that painkillers are a category of drug showing a steady abuse increase associated with age from 2002 to 2004. But the United States Department of Health and Human Services is hoping a new pilot program will help lower these numbers. Pharmacies across the country are handing out pamphlets to patients who are prescribed highly abused drugs. These pamphlets list ways to properly dispose of extra medication and how to responsibly store your medicine to ensure it stays in the right hands. Suggestions include disposing of medicine in kitty litter, coffee grinds, or other undesirable substances. Flushing your medicine isn't a good idea. Recent studies have shown an increase in antibiotics and medications in our water. This program will run for 26 weeks. After that, officials will decide whether to continue it.
So, Marissa, we know prescription drug abuse is increasing. What about non-prescription medicines?
Whaley told me OTC or over-the-counter medication, such as Sudafed, is also an issue. In order to buy this medicine, you have to be older than 18, show a government-issued photo ID, and you're limited in the amount you can purchase.
Marissa May starting us off tonight. Thanks.
A woman jumped to her death early this morning from a UNC parking deck. The 47-year-old from Carrboro jumped off Cardinal parking deck across from UNC hospitals at about 3 a.m. Police haven't released a name, but they say the woman didn't have any known affiliation with UNC. We are now in the midst of the worst drought ever recorded in North Carolina. The National Weather Service says we need 25 to 30 inches of rain to alleviate the drought. To help conserve Raleigh's decreasing water supply, city officials are working on a plan to pump water from Lake Benson and Lake Wheeler into Falls Lake. Central North Carolina received 2 to 5 inches of rain last month, and boy did we need it, but Falls Lake rose less than a foot, and Jordan Lake only rose between 2 and 3 feet. Forecasters predict we'll face water shortages through next summer. Because of the area's severe water problems, UNC and my undergrad alma mater, NC State, have extended the rivalry beyond athletics. NC State Chancellor James Oblinger has challenged Chancellor James Measer to a water conservation competition. The campus that reduces water usage in residence halls the most will win. The challenge began Saturday and will end on February 20th when the Tar Heels and the Wolfpack play in men's basketball. There's no actual prize for winning, just the joy of beating a rival.
Today is the observance of Veterans Day, and the men and women who serve our country received a special honor Friday from Carolina's ROTC. It was the annual Veterans Day ceremony at UNC. General Margaret Wilmonth addressed the cadets and veterans. Those attending honored troops who have served or are serving the U.S. for their dedication and bravery. The ceremony concluded with the changing of the guard. Army ROTC Company Commander Adam Kennedy says it's a special day.
Honor all the veterans from any of the conflicts that we've had in the past. It takes a lot of courage, and there's a lot of honor involved in it. So we just want to kind of say thank you to all of the veterans.
One of the honored veterans at UNC is naval pilot Lieutenant Brian Lubitz. He fought in Iraq, contributed to tsunami relief, and raised a family. Reporter Katie Miller shows us how a military lifestyle affects his loved ones.
The only way you make it through deployment is you kind of shut down emotionally. I mean, you have to, otherwise you're going to go crazy. Because the person you love the most and you care about the most is so far away.
We got pregnant well knowing that he was going to be gone. The waiting game is hard, and they're not in the waiting game. They're in the go mode. They're in the very focused. They don't have much time to reflect back on family.
It's one thing because we all know somebody that's been lost in combat, somebody that's died. I spent 6 months in Japan, and we had the tsunami, which was, the dynamics were so different from going to a combat environment where you're getting shot at and doing, really taking care of people in one capacity, then going over to Japan and dealing with the tsunami. But that homecoming was awesome.
Fun. That was fun.
Because we had Ella. I mean, so
and she didn't. I was worried she wasn't going to know him because she's 15 months, and they're so impressionable with other people at that point in their life. But yeah, I kept him around the house in videos and
you put pictures up
all over like the low part of the wall so she could see them. Yeah, and it worked.
It's not tough because of the job. It's tough because of the separation. And I don't want to leave her, and I don't want to leave the kids. But I also know there's a bigger cause. There's something we're fighting for, and there's something we're protecting, and we both know that, and we know that the kids will understand that at some point.
Lieutenant Lubitz might return to Iraq within the next month. The arts and hotly debated social topics don't often mix.
Coming up, we'll show you how some are conducting a discussion about the death penalty using dancing, singing, and dialogue.
Women's Center, may I help you?
The Women's Center is a nonprofit agency that has served as a meeting place for women in the Triangle since 1979, making it one of the oldest freestanding women's centers in the country. The mission of the Women's Center is to provide a supportive community where all women can inspire each other to grow, both personally and professionally.
I was going through a crisis at home, and I contacted Helpline, and they referred me directly to the Women's Center.
I think the Women's Center is really important for the community because it offers so many different kinds of resources, and if we don't have the resource here, we can find an avenue or a way for women to find the answers that they need.
It is inspiring. It's so exciting to be a part of something that really matters and really changes things.
You can support the Women's Center through membership or by sending a contribution to the Women's Center, 210 Henderson Street, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27514.
The Keenan Flagler Business School is now looking to replace 2 of its chief administrators. Dean Steve Jones announced last week that he'll step down from his position when his 5-year term ends in June. In addition to a new dean, the school is also starting the search for a new business administration program director. Current director Jeff Cannon, and you'll see him coming up in just a moment, will be leaving the school in January for Washington University in St. Louis.
The death penalty is getting a lot of attention across North Carolina as well as here on campus. Reporter Julia Ritchie is at Memorial Hall to tell us more about how UNC is exploring this controversial topic.
Adam, the Carolina Performing Arts received one of 8 grants nationwide to facilitate a year-long project called Criminal Justice, the Death Penalty Examined. This campus-wide initiative utilizes the arts to explore issues involving capital punishment in our criminal justice system.
The curtain will open tonight at Memorial Hall for a play called Parade. It's based on the true story of a Jewish man who in 1913 was lynched in Marietta, Georgia, after being framed for the rape and murder of a 13-year-old girl. Junior Sean Casterly plays the main character, Leo Frank. He hopes the play will make people think about prejudice and the death penalty.
It was such an inflammatory case for not only litigation within the country in terms of like how trials were prosecuted and whatnot, but also it led to the resurgence of the KKK, and it just has so many implications, and it's all centered around this one act of lynching.
Project manager of the Criminal Justice series, Reed Culver, says these events aren't just about being pro or anti-death penalty.
It's rarely black and white. It's rarely yes or no. This is good, this is bad. And that's not what we're looking at, is whether it's good or bad. We're looking at all those gray areas in between.
The series is especially relevant here. Executions remain on hold because of legal challenges to the state's lethal injection protocol. More than a dozen states have stayed executions until the U.S. Supreme Court hears a case about whether lethal injections amount to cruel and unusual punishment. Junior Chris Dorman plays Leo Frank's defense attorney. He says in addition to sparking debate about the death penalty, these performances reveal the inadequacies of justice based on majority opinion.
Both of this and that show very much touch on how much people are willing to sacrifice in terms of losing or killing someone in the name of justice, where justice is such an uncertain thing and there's no true way to really prove whether or not it's executed right or not.
The series unofficially kicked off with UNC's selection of the summer reading novel, The Death of Innocence by Sister Helen Prejean. Sister Prejean will be speaking at Memorial Hall in February.
Julia, I'm curious, what are some of the other events available to students?
Parade will be the last event in the series for this semester, but there will be 9 more installments next spring, including photography, lectures, and even a play based on Sister Prejean's most famous book, Dead Man Walking.
Julia Ritchie at Memorial Hall, thank you.
Even in the winter, the Botanical Gardens has a lot to offer. The gardens are currently raising money for a new education center. The building will be completely green, using technology such as rainwater cisterns and solar panels. Construction is scheduled to begin this fall near the side of the current parking lot. The project price tag, though, is $11 million. So far, fundraising is at only $9 million. Director Peter White stresses the importance of making that enjoyment more available to the community.
The building will be beautiful, it'll be welcoming, it'll have new space, it'll have new gardens around it. It's going to be a real wonderful place to come hang out in Chapel Hill.
The Botanical Gardens is located on 15501, and if you'd like to donate money to the new center, you can find the information on our website, carolinaweek.org. A study shows that lifestyle choices have an impact on cancer risk. The report shows a clear link between obesity and breast cancer, cancer of the large bowel, and pancreatic cancer. The study also shows that obesity is inching closer to smoking as a leading cancer risk. The authors suggest you should eat more fruits and vegetables and exercise at least half an hour a day to help minimize your risk. Students and other apartment residents will now have more choices when it comes to cable. The FCC last week banned the use of exclusive agreements cable companies have made with the apartment managers. The commission says this will allow the 25 million American families who live in apartments to enjoy more consumer choice and lower prices. Cable rates have risen almost 100% in the past decade.
If you don't have much time for television, a new website might make watching your favorite shows more convenient. Hulu.com is a new online video site developed by Fox and NBC Universal. The two networks launched the site last week, and it features shows such as Heroes, 24, and The Office. Hulu.com was designed to compete with popular video sites including YouTube and Apple's iTunes Store. 10 members of UNC Habitat for Humanity are one step closer to building a house in Honduras.
We'd like to welcome you officially to the Honduras 08 Spring Break Trip Date Auction.
Recently, the group held a date auction in the pit to raise funds for a spring break trip to Honduras. The event featured dancing, singing, and even stripping to persuade bidders to buy a date. Some dates went for as much as $75.
And you know, Adam, I was talking with some of the girls at Carolina Week, and we said that we'd definitely be willing to pay $75 for a date with you. But the other guys, we'd pay $150 in Carolina Week. Isn't that right, Mallory?
I think you're right, and I think that would be money well spent right there. It's been warming up for the past few days. So warm, people are wearing shorts and relaxing outside. Will this continue? Your forecast next.
Why do I call it a funny bone? Why can't penguins fly? Like a sea safety. Can we go to the moon on vacation?
If you think it's tough answering these questions, imagine the ones you'll get if your child is diagnosed with cancer. CureSearch.org can help. It's run by doctors and scientists whose research has led to an overall cure rate of 78%. You're not as alone as you feel.
Introducing the all-new Enclave. It's a minivan to the max, with features like remote control sliding rear doors, 150 cable channels, a full Skyview roof, temperature-controlled cup holders, and the 6-point navigation system. It's the minivan for families on the go.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Mallory Nichols. The last couple of days, you've seen a little bit of an increase in temperatures, and those temperatures will continue to increase. We'll be seeing a much more significant warming over the next couple of days. Also, our biggest issue is the drought. Will we get a little bit of rain for this week? There is a slight chance for Wednesday night, so we'll need to keep an eye on that, and hopefully it'll bring us a pretty good amount of precipitation. We'll take a look out later in the tropics to see if there's any kind of activity going on out there. We are still in hurricane season, so we'll take a look to see if anything's going to help us out there with the drought system. If we go to the satellite and radar, you'll see that we do have a little bit of a cloud cover over Raleigh right now, and we do have a little bit of a system up north to us that brought us a few showers this morning and a little bit of sprinkles all out throughout the day. So that's moving up to the north of us, but not affecting us too much. If we take a closer look, you'll see that we do have a little bit of cloud covers, a little bit of that precipitation is moving down into our area, but majority of North Carolina is pretty clear for the most part. Take a look at the surface map. We're in a high pressure system right now, bringing us those warmer temperatures. Do want to take a look back a little bit to the east to see there is a cold front heading our way and a little bit of a warm up north that will start to extend down, bringing us a little bit of those showers on Wednesday night. And then if we take a look at the Tuesday surface map, you'll see that warm pressure or that warm front has moved off the coast. We do have a little bit of the low pressure out back that we're going to have to continue to watch as it moves east towards us. And if we take a look at Wednesday, you'll see that is a little bit closer to us right now, and then it was a little bit closer to us, and then we'll see that those will bring those showers on Wednesday night and Thursday morning. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, and hopefully it'll bring us those temperatures. Take a look out in the tropics. You'll see there is some cloud cover right here out to the west or the east of us. Not much going on. It is hurricane season, so it's pretty abnormal for us not to be seeing anything, and we kind of hope that not a hurricane will hit us, but some precipitation would hit us. Take a look at the 4-day forecast. You'll see Tuesday and Wednesday we do have some sunny skies, and Thursday we do see a little bit of that chance of rain. There's about a 30% chance, so we'll keep an eye on that for Thursday morning. And then Friday we have sunny skies as well. If we take a look at the temperatures, you'll see it's going to increase on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday we're going to start to see a little bit of decrease with those low temperatures decreasing as well. So hopefully we'll see a little bit of that rain on Thursday or Wednesday night and Thursday morning. So
and we definitely need the rain.
We really do.
Sure do.
Yeah.
Mallory, thanks.
Thanks. Thanks to Animal Shelter Appreciation Week, almost 40 animals have new homes, but there are still many animals that need a new home, like this week's featured pet. Meet Blackjack, a 1-year-old Border Collie mix. He's a smart puppy who always has lots of energy. In fact, he spends most of his time jumping and jumping. He came to the shelter about a month ago, and now he's looking to be someone's favorite companion. For more information about how you can adapt Blackjack or any of the other animals at the shelter, go to our website at carolinaweek.org. And now we're joined with Mark Alexic with our sports update.
Mark, what a disappointing game on Saturday. That's all I have to say.
Disappointing has been kind of a recurring word this season, but definitely the case on Saturday. And coming up in sports, the football team helped the Wolfpack's win streak, and this time, good Carolina defense was not enough. We'll bring you the story from Carter Finley.
hacer muchas cosas. El Museo de Arte de Carolina del Norte ofrece una colección de arte de primordial importancia en el sudeste y es suyo para descubrirlo. Hay algo para todos, obras de artistas clásicos y contemporáneos, un parque de 164 acres, una serie de conciertos al aire libre, actuaciones y mucho más. Disfruta de todo lo que el arte puede ser en el Museo de Arte de Carolina del Norte.
Okay, guys, time for takeoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! Wow! Whoa, look at that! Is that Jupiter?
Hey kids, it's time to go to the planetarium.
Moorhead Planetarium, where dreams become reality.
Bye-bye bowl game. With the football team's loss to the Wolfpack, Carolina's season will end in 2 weeks after the Heels allowed NC State to score too many points early in the game. In the first quarter, Packs up by 3, Jamel Eugene takes the handoff, bulldozes his way in for a touchdown, and State fans are happy. They have a 10-point lead. Now in the second quarter, Eugene takes it again, bounces off tacklers, and it's another Wolfpack touchdown. Still in the second quarter, Daniel Evans looks left, throws, but Charles Brown picks it off, and it is off to the races. This will cover 92 yards, and Brown gets the interception return for a touchdown. Carolina's on the board. Oh, Mr. Wolf looks a little disappointed. Well, there's a little more where that came from. Connor Barth makes a field goal from 47 yards out. And jumping to the fourth quarter, Evans throws, but Kendrick Burney picks it off. And the Carolina sideline goes wild. Now Carolina has the lead. They're up by 3. But the Wolfpack isn't finished. Eugene on the carry again, in for the touchdown again, and State fans rejoice with a clutch win.
This is my first loss against NC State. It doesn't feel too good, but I said there's no more victories, but I love all you guys, with all my heart, and I know we're going to finish out strong.
The men's basketball team handily beat Lenore Ryan on Friday night. Danny Green showed he has more than just some killer dance moves. He and Tyler Hansbrough had double-doubles on the night. Green raked in 10 rebounds and scored 16 points. Here, Hansbrough shows his slick skills as he moves straight past the defense, but he forgot to dribble. Hansbrough quickly redeemed himself by proving he could dunk and dribble. 3 other players were also in double figures. Deion Thompson, Ty Lawson, and Wayne Ellington were forces to be reckoned with. When the players from the far end of the bench had their time to shine, the crowd went wild. The Heels beat Lenore Ryan 107-52, but Coach Roy Williams says they still have a few things to work on.
We've got to get more consistent inside play on the backboards, and I think if we do that and get more consistent ball handling from the perimeter, those would be 2 things that I think we need to focus on.
After beating NC Central on Friday, the women's basketball team took on the Arizona State Sun Devils in the first game of the State Farm Classic. In the first half, Italy Lucas puts up this shot, misses, but Jessica Breland recovers and gets the points. Heels defense for you coming up. Latoya Pringle comes up with this big block, but that was just a little taste. Pringle, once you pop, you can't stop, comes up with another block. And a laid-back Ramses takes a few minutes to just kind of take in the scene. Now in the second half action, the Sun Devils lose the ball and Orlana Larkins gets an easy bucket. Now, Rebecca Gray looks for passing room, sends it to Larkins, and Larkins says, "No, I can do this myself." She gets another one. Coach Sylvia Hatchell thought her young players played well against their first top 25 opponent.
Freshmen. They went out, they got out there and they played hard. Now they made a lot of defensive mistakes, but you know what? We're going to get a lot better, especially defensively. And at times we didn't, we were a little out of sync, but I just told them, I said, just don't slow down.
The women's field hockey team moves to the NCAA Final Four after a winning weekend. The Heels started out on Saturday against Stanford with 4 goals in the first half. Freshman Caitlin Falgowski scored the first and third goals for the Heels. Here's Britt Van Beek with the 4th goal. It was UNC's 14th shutout of the season. Sunday, JMU wasn't afraid to fight dirty, but it didn't do the Dukes much good. After a scoreless first half, the Heels scored late in the second half. It was the only goal of the game, but with 2 seconds remaining, the ball went in for JMU, but, hold the phone, the officials said the ball went off a foot of a Carolina player and did not count because the Dukes hit the ball from outside the circle. The Carolina girls celebrated in different ways, some with tears and some jumping up and down. The Heels head to Maryland this weekend for the Final Four.
We will not change anything in our preparation. We've been having basically the same game plan all year long. So we just want to move the ball. We want to play good possession hockey. We want to defend to win and execute on our penalty corner.
The women's soccer team rules the ACC once again. Carolina squeaked past the pesky Seminoles of Florida State in Sunday's championship game for their 18th title in 19 years. Nikki Washington got the game winner and earned tournament MVP honors. The Heels head into the NCAA tournament as the 4th-ranked team in the land. One more quick note about field hockey. I don't know if you knew this, but now the field hockey team has the most shutouts of any UNC team in the history of UNC sports.
That's great.
Shutouts.
That's absolutely great, and good for them. Good luck in the Final Four.
Thanks, Mark. And Adam, while you and Mark and plenty others on campus are ready to put the football game behind us, there's another sport on campus that's making rounds on campus.
Coming up, our Johnny O will take a jab at the world of the boxing Tar Heels.
Escucha Smokey antes de tratar.
Solo tú.
No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. Fuego. No hay nada para tu pobre conejo asustado a un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos en áreas naturales.
Fuego.
The word boxing, you probably think of hard-hitting fighters. But there's a club right here at Carolina that's teaching students how to be safe and healthy boxers. Our Johnny O takes a look at the Club of Sweet Science.
Twice a week, about 50 Tar Heels participate in Carolina Boxing Club practice sessions. But there are a few things you don't see here. Punching bags, people hitting each other, and surprisingly, no boxing ring. Instead, you see students doing a variety of other things, such as calisthenics, running, and MIT workouts. Co-captain Frank Zong.
These workouts are definitely safe. These workouts here on campus are non-contact. This is as much contact as you'll see with people hitting the mitts.
Matt Haley is coach of the Carolina Boxing Club and encourages students to come out and give it their best shot.
I mean, we really encourage everybody that's just interested in getting a good workout to come and check out the club.
In that spirit, I decided to get a very small sample of the workout myself, starting off with the calisthenics. Frank led me through a variety of exercises, including push-ups, the bicycle, flutter kicks, various resistance exercises, and the one I couldn't quite get, the bear crawl.
Let's look at that again. That was a blooper club right there.
After that, I laced up the gloves to get some punching techniques down. Keep in mind that all students begin mitt work after a few months, so techniques take time and practice.
We help people work out based on what level we think they're at and what level of interest we think they're at. So I think that anybody who has thoughts about coming should come, and they should bring a friend too.
Whether it's warming up for practice, wrapping up those hands, or just giving it their best shot, these Tar Heels are getting a taste of the sweet science. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jonathan O., Carolina Week.
So now, Adam, have you ever been boxing?
You know, I have. I've boxed some with my friends just casually, and I'm not very good at it. It takes a whole lot more coordination than you would think. Maybe I need to go practice with some of those guys.
Definitely. I mean, it's a little scary, isn't it?
It's a little scary when people start, sending gloves towards your face.
Oh, wow. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.